Right, guys, you're back here again with Grace and I for another reaction. Today we're going to be reacting to Grimm, which is it's a good show. Wouldn't you say it's a good show? Yeah, so a little plot about it before we get into the actual reacting business. So Detective Nick Burkhart of the Portland Police Department learns he is descended from a line of guardians known as GRIMMS, charged with keeping balance between humanity and the Wesen, or mythological creatures of the world, with GRIMMS being the only ones who can see Wesen. Throughout the series, he must battle against an assortment of dangerous creatures with help from his Wesen friend, Monroe, and his partner, Detective Hank Griffin. So, yeah, we're just going to get straight into it because I think our reaction is going to be a bit more intriguing than just me rambling on. So, straight to it. All right, so again, our first question is, why did you start watching Grimm? I started watching it 2019, like I was on holiday, so it's just before I was going on holiday. I was planning on like what I was going to watch on the plane and stuff, and I found this TV show called Grimm, and I was like, sounds sort of like something I like because I like supernatural world, I like fairy tales, so it sort of made sense. And the show is 6 seasons long, and I watched it in just under a month, so really hooked onto it, and it's a really good show. And then I recommended it onto Grace, and I don't know what convinced you, Grace, to watch it.
I've actually heard of this show like a while before you introduced it to me, and I was going to watch it, but I thought it was a bit too scary. But it did got me intrigued, and when I started watching it, it got me more interested. Like every episode was different. It was really fascinating. Like all different things happening, and it was just really it's so different, but it's so great at the same time.
It is definitely a really good show. All right, favorite characters. I always find this question a bit hard because I always have, it's either I can't pick anybody or either I have more than one. So for me, for this one, I've got two, Monroe and Rosalie. So I just sort of love them together, and I love how they help Nick, even though Nick is like supposed to be the enemy, and they're weird. They're like a cute couple, and Monroe is just so like funny, and he's like always there for Nick. Like I always like, especially like that first season, I always felt like Monroe was much more helpful. Like he was like much more there for Nick than Nick was there for Monroe. So because like Nick was sort of like using him for like his knowledge and stuff of the Wesen because Nick didn't know anything. But yeah, them two together are like my favorite. Like they're just so cute. They're such a weird couple, but so cute. Yeah. How about you guys?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I would say Nick is a great character. I would say Monroe and Rosalie are like, oh, I just love them. I love them for every season. They're just such a cute couple, and I think they're definitely all my favorite couple in the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you just knew they were destined from the moment they met, from the moment like the
so
first fight or
cheesy,
something.
but so true.
But yeah, I love those characters, and I think Monroe and Rosalie are like my top favorite.
I want to least favorite character. I mean, this is so easy for me. Like I didn't even have to really think about
who's
it.
yours?
Adland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the thing is, I'm not completely sure if I really like Nick and Juliet together. But when Adeline like disguised herself as Juliet and then slept with Nick, like that was just like a big no. It's like, why would you do this? Why would you write this into it? Like, it was just gross. And then when Adeline like became pregnant and then they got together, it was just so wrong. Like why did they do that?
It was so confusing. Like, why would Nick actually try to get himself more with Adeline after what she did to him and Juliet and to the others? Like, I guess she had like a very good motive, and like she had like a troubling like past, but that's still no reason. I mean, she did all those other things, and he still kind of goes for it. And annoying thing is, she kind of thinks like she could get away with it in a way, and it really bugs me. I mean, Juliet bugged me a little as well, but not as much as Adeline.
She was just too annoying some points, but
she was. I just felt like neither of them were good enough for Nick, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much the same. But if I had to pick, Juliet for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pick Juliet. If there was a third choice, neither.
But it's weird because like I've read like a lot of people like what people have been saying. They really like Nick and Adeline together. But I just couldn't get that. Like why?
Yeah, that's what I try to get. I mean, I don't exactly understand why they were like that. I mean, if I never knew the show and I saw those two together, I would say, maybe they do look quite cute together. But if you get to know the character, I'm like, whoa, why were they even together in the first place? I mean, it's messed up.
It is. Ugh. But yeah, let us know down below in the comments, like, who would you rather Nick end up with, Juliet or Adeline, or just neither of them, or maybe someone else who we've seen.
Yeah, someone better.
Yeah. So was Adeline your least favorite as well then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And now this one I always find quite interesting because we're like throughout the show we're shown like tons of different Wesen and stuff. So if you could be one Wesen, who would you be, Grace? Oh, which species would you be, Grace?
I would be kind of like Rosaline species.
A Fuchsbau.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think, go on me. She looks quite cute, and Monroe said so herself. Like she looked like beautiful, and I got me. She looks like vicious, but I think I wouldn't mind looking cute and vicious when I need to be. It's just, I don't know. She just looked quite adorable. What about you?
I was trying to think about this. I was like, would I rather be cute or would I be rather more powerful? So I picked Hex and Beast. Like, I mean, they're basically witches, and which is pretty cool. I mean, they look really scary and really like they
just look
corpses.
They look like walking corpse, to be honest.
But
you
when
want
they
to look like that?
Well, when they vogue, they're just so powerful and skilled. Like,
true,
wow.
but they're quite
this
freaky
is more
as well.
Price. Yeah.
No, do it. Oh god, you're gonna hate me for this, but I can't see you as that now.
Let us know down below if you agree or not with Grace. Or maybe you think Grace is a Hex and Beast in secret.
Oh, okay.
Alright, moving on before I start hitting Grace over the screen. Like, was there a character who died who didn't get enough screen time who you wanted to see more of? Like for me, it was Bud. So he's an Eisenbieber in the show, and he like plays a big, like a smallish, but like he's in every single season. But the thing is, he's not, even though he's in every single season, we don't see a lot of him. And I wish we had seen like a bit more. Like he's really funny, and he's just a very different character. Like when you compare him to like the other Wesen, because an Eisenbieber's like a bit more timid. They're a bit more. They want to please everybody. They don't want to cause any trouble. So I wish we had seen more of Bud because he's just such a weird character, but he's so likable as well.
I agree. I think he was actually quite like a nice side character, and it's a shame that he's kind of stayed that way. Yeah, he was just like a friendly. I wish we did see more of him. I think he could have like done something like doing like a season plot or something. But yeah, I think we could have seen more of him.
Was there anybody else you thought of, or?
I was thinking Nick's cousin. Was that her?
Trouble. Yeah.
I mean, I know she came in like mid show and all that, but she was quite an interesting character actually. And I feel like if they introduced her earlier, I feel like we could have, like, she could have been a bit more. I think she would have been my favorite character, to be honest. But I think Bud, I think he's like the main guy who we all wanted him to see more.
All right, moving on to favorite moments or favorite episodes on the whole of the show, because there's tons. There's like 6 seasons long, so I've got 2. First one, season 2, episode 9, La Llorona. Yeah, I'm saying that right. So I set the scene. It's like Halloween, and it's like one of the holidays the Monroe loves, because Monroe like literally loves all of his holidays, like Christmas, Halloween. Like he loves them, and he's like really decorated his house. And like I just love like what he says. Like he's so funny. Like this is like literally like what he says. So when like some kids come knocking on his door, and he opens up the door and he goes like, "What bevy of great costumes! Oh, love the Wolfman. Looks like my Uncle Herman before they chopped his head off." Like, because the kids just think he's joking, but he's like serious, which is a funny thing. But then yeah, so this little girl who's like getting bullied. sort of like, because there's three little boys who want to steal her sweets, but then Monroe defends her, and he like teaches them a lesson, but then they come back later that night and they ruin his decorations, and like Monroe's so devastated because like it's so sad. But anyway, so yeah, he literally goes after them, he finds them, and he vogues into a blute bard,
Oh
and then
yeah,
scares them, which is so funny.
I got
And
me.
he's
They
like,
kind of deserve it.
yeah, and he's like, trick or treat. But yeah, I just love Monroe. And then my
Mm.
second one is season 6, episode 7, Blind Love. It's just a very
Oh.
funny scene. So
Yeah.
basically, everyone apart from Rosalie, who isn't drinking because she's pregnant, they drank some wine like with the Amor de Ferno, which is like a love potion. And then the next day, they're in love with different people. So Monroe's in love with
Oh.
Eve, Eve with Nick, Nick with Rosalie, Adeline with Monroe, and Hank is in love with himself. And it's just funny, like seeing everybody like fight for themselves, and like Hank like is literally like singing to himself, and he's like got the mirror there, and he's like, "Ooh, baby." It's just so funny. It was
It
so
was.
good.
Yeah.
That's one of the scenes I keep watching on repeat. Go on, Grace. What are your favorite
I gotta admit, what
moments?
those were great moments as well. I kind of like the dark fighting scene. So like one of my favorites is like this Christmas episode where we see like Krampus. Like he's basically like a bad Santa, and I seen the actual whole thing called Krampus, and it's really good. And this actually kind of reminds me of that, like Nick versus Krampus, and it was really scary. Like he kidnapped kids. Imagine that, like comes in your window if you're naughty and just takes you away, and it was just really frightening as well. And but I loved it. I loved the fight scene, and I just love that special, like that special theme episode. It was really fun. And one scene I did like was Adeline versus Juliet, like this
Oh
hex
yeah.
and beats fight. Truthfully, when I did find Juliet annoying, I was like, come on, Juliet, beat her ass or something. I don't know. Because it was really great. Because I think Adeline kind of like needs to be like
In her
taught a lesson.
place.
Because she did a lot of mean things to Juliet, I must admit. But and
Yeah.
then I feel like this is Juliet getting her back, and I kind of like that scene actually. I like a bit of girl fight. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
was good. Yeah. And I remember, wasn't there like knives flying at Adland
Yeah.
at one
Oh
point as
yes,
well?
we
Yeah,
think.
that was.
One lovely thing was the wedding of Monroe and Rosalie is and the no actually it was the engagement when he had like the wedding ring in like a cuckoo clock. I was like, oh, that is my heart melt at that time. It was just so beautiful, like so romantic, and so was a wedding. It was really sweet. Those was my sweetest moments in the show. So yeah, or those were my favorite. But I love the
Yeah,
fight
there's so
scenes.
many.
Yeah, there were. But yeah.
Yeah. What I liked about the show is that like each episode like brought in a new Wesen, and it was like based on like some of it's based on Grimm fairy tales and other stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like a modern take on it. So like how they're in the modern world. And then I
Mm.
also like the fact that, like, like Grimm's and Wesen are like supposed to be enemies, but we see that Nick and Monroe have this like great friendship, and then that extends to like Bud and Rosalie, and then like other people as well they meet along the way who,
Mm.
like I just
Mm.
I just liked it, the different stories, the humor too. I mean, Monroe really stood out to me with the humor because I think
Oh
the
yeah.
humor would have been a lot less if Monroe wasn't involved. But
Mm.
yeah, the show's just really good.
Yeah, I like the theme of like supernatural mixing with like modern world. It was great. And with like different Vessens in each episode, it really surprised me how like the Grimms actually made up so many monsters back in their time. If that like just thinking, how did they came with this? Or like how did they actually figure out this is what this creature was? It was just there's just so many. I'm like, how do they come up with these ideas? But it was really great, like you said, yeah, just like seeing different kind of species. It was really interesting.
I mean, I guess you can kind of guess what I didn't like about the show. I didn't like the fact that Adeline and Nick got together. Like it was
Oh
just
yeah.
yuck. Like she nearly killed his aunt. She nearly killed Hank. Like she literally caused so much trouble. And then they get together. Like how is he like excuse me? Like, I get it's a bit difficult because like they got a kid together, but to get together, It's another
Yeah, I
thing.
don't. It was ridiculous the way they
like,
tackled that.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was anything else I didn't like about the show. What about for you guys? Something?
Well, I guess I,
mean,
didn't like.
we'll move on
I
to the
didn't like.
ending.
No, I was
later.
just saying I didn't like the scene about where Juliet and the captain kiss
Oh,
behind.
yeah, their relationship.
That was a sting.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah. Ugh.
I prefer Juliet over Adeline, but like Juliet, that was a shitty move.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about
was
that.
a
Yeah,
bad
it's so
move.
true. Ooh.
It was a bad move. So, what did you like the ending, Emily?
I like the final fight. I like the fight, like, because like the Grimms like facing the evil, and Aunt Marie and Kelly have like come back and they're like helping, and then also like the actual ending, like with the kids like joining the fight, and like grown up Kelly and Diana and the triplets who we actually sadly never get to see. I don't know, like, do I actually think it was a good ending for the show? Yeah, I kind of do. And I don't know what's happened, because I swear I read somewhere that they were doing a spin-off, and I don't know where that spin-off's at. Like, I feel like it's probably got cancelled or something.
Yeah,
But
they need to do a spin-off.
Yeah.
Because all those shows with open endings kind of leads that there's going to be a spin-off somehow, somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of like it. I like, because near the end, when everybody dies, I was like, oh my God, how is this going to end? I thought they were all going to end up in heaven somehow. I don't know. But when they all came back, I was like, oh, thank God. And then we get to see kids growing up. I was like, good. Like, it just symbolize how the story continues and all that. Like, there's not really an end. There's still going to be something else happening. And it felt kind of nice. It felt great. It was better than everyone dying. So that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Shows that are similar or worth watching. I mean, I feel like I'm giving my whole list again and again and again, but I'll just repeat it. Lost Girl, Winona Earp, The Magicians. I mean, there's tons of other shows as well, but I say, like, there's quite a few shows that have got that magical and supernatural element to them, which is basically what Grimm's sort of about. So yeah, I'd say any of the above, and I've got tons others, but
yeah, like Lucifer or Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, though Once Upon a Time a bit I wouldn't highly recommend.
It's kind of, Grimm was kind of like based on like the Grimm stories and all
I
that.
don't know. I mean, like, to watch it, like, I'm not I wouldn't highly recommend it. Like, yeah. You have to watch our Once Upon a Time reaction video to find out what we thought. But yeah, right. Final question, and this is a question I quite like asking as well, because it's like, so Grace, what 3 words would you use to describe the show?
Ooh, I say dark, crime, and supernatural.
Yeah, I've picked supernatural as well. I've picked supernatural, Grimm, and Wesen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you guys for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below about your thoughts about Grimm, whether you liked it or not, or whether you hope there will be a spin-off. Please check out our other reviews on the channel, such as Once Upon a Time or Lucifer and Winona Earp, which will be. Before you leave, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And we will see you soon. Bye.